Think you've seen all Europe has to offer? Think again. Paris and Rome get all the attention, but other than those famous places, there are even more stunning locations most people barely notice. These European cities are full of history, culture, and scenery that takes your breath away without the crowds and selfie sticks. In this video, we're uncovering the top best kept secrets Europe has been holding back. Ideal for your 2025 travel bucket list. From medieval cobblestone streets and warm cafes to castles, coastlines, and hidden adventures, these destinations will awe you. But before that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. At number 9 we have Graz, Austria. Graz is Austria's second largest city, but it is a little understated and somehow unforgettable. The streets don't shout for attention, they carry a quiet confidence. You might find yourself sitting in a sunny courtyard longer than you'd expect, enjoying the smell of fresh bread through winding cobblestone lanes and thinking, how has this place stayed such a secret? It's present right in the green hills of Styria, which already makes it a paradise for anyone who loves good food. Graz doesn't overwhelm you, it eases you in. One moment you're riding a tram past grand old facades, the next you're in front of some cool, unexpected bit of architecture that makes you walk. You don't rush there, you taste. You take it all in. And if you travel past the perfect postcard streets of the old town, Graz starts to show its playful side. There's a museum floating on the river, an art gallery shaped like something from another planet, and little back streets filled with creativity. You will spend one day cycling to a live concert, then the next sipping wine and rolling vineyards. Graz has this mix of elegance and edge, tradition and surprise, and it's the kind of place that sticks with you long after you've gone. Ravenna, Italy is at number 8. Ravenna isn't like Rome or Venice, it's smaller, quieter, and easy to miss if you're not looking for it. But once you're here, it surprises you. This used to be the capital of the Western Roman Empire, though you wouldn't guess it right away. The streets are calm, people move slowly, and then you step inside a church and it all changes. The mosaics are everywhere. Gold, blue, green, tiny pieces making huge pictures. They cover the walls and ceilings, and in the Basilica di San Francesco, even the floor of the crypt is underwater with glowing light from the tiles. It's hard not to just stand there and keep staring. There are a total of 8 UNESCO sites to be found here. The Basilica di San Vitale is likely the most well-known, but in reality, the entire city is a living museum. The Mosaic Museum blends old and new, ancient work sitting alongside the modern displays, and they all fit together like it was destined to do so. When you've had a gop, you can eat. This is Emilia Romagna, so the grub is as delicious as you'd expect. Fresh pasta, bread, olive oil, just plain but perfect. And the Adriatic Sea is not too far away, so you can spend an afternoon at the coast. There aren't throngs of people, there's no hurry. Just gentle streets, long lunches, and balmy evenings. It's Italy, but without the din. Tbilisi, Georgia is our next pick. Tbilisi used to be one of Europe's most overlooked capitals, but not anymore because people are finally noticing it, and for good reason. The food alone can ruin you for everything else. The city has been making wine for over 8,000 years. The streets are a mix of the old and the new buildings everywhere. Tbilisi has been around since the 5th century. You have Persian courtyards, Soviet apartment blocks, glass bridges, and golden dome cathedrals. You can spend one time soaking in a hot sulfur bath beneath a domed ceiling made of tiles, the next another walking across a sci-fi bridge, or stepping into a church that seems to have been left behind in the times. At night, Tbilisi changes. Wine bars fill up, hidden cocktail spots come alive, and clubs keep going until morning. The food is just as good after dark. Steaming King Kali dumplings, cheese-filled khachapuri fresh from the oven, and wine that feels like it's telling you a story. You don't just visit Tbilisi. It gets into your head and stays there even after you've gone home. At number 6 we have Gdańsk, Poland. It's hard to believe that a city so full of history could be a sort of secret. That's Gdańsk, however. Located on the Baltic Sea, it somehow succeeds in being both historic and seaside at the same time. If you'd like a mixture of beach and city, then you can pair it with Sopa just nearby. But the cold water will quickly inform you this is not the Caribbean. The old town is the heart of it all. Most of the city was destroyed in World War II. Later it was built with a lot of care so that no one can differentiate between between the original architecture and the restored one. You will witness tall, narrow houses with Dutch-style gables, colorful facades, cobblestone streets everywhere. It's like a quieter Amsterdam without the crowds. You can also visit the St. Mary's Church, which can fit 25,000 people, or take a leisurely walk along the ancient city gates that still stand to demarcate the center's boundaries. Fifth on the list is Mantua, Italy. It's hard to believe Mantua is also not very famous among tourists. Mantua is a small city in southern Lombardy, close to the Emilia-Romagna border, and has everything you'd expect from Italy: art, history, beautiful buildings, and great food. Even though it is on the UNESCO list, it is not crowded with tourists. Way back during the Renaissance, Mantua was a giant cultural hub under the rule of the Gonzaga family. They contributed to the existence of opera, and that legacy can be seen in such places as the Teatro Bibbiena. It's tiny, gilded, and nearly too gorgeous to be true. Mozart performed here when he was a young man, and it's still every bit as astonishing today. The Gonzagas also constructed some amazing architecture, the most renowned being the Palazzo Ducale. It's enormous, approximately 600 rooms in total, and although only half of it is open to the public, it's still enough to lose oneself in here. To walk through the frescoed ceilings and grand halls is like stepping directly into the past. Mantua has more to it too. 3 artificial lakes grid the city, and at sunset, they shimmer, with water lilies floating on the evening light. There's also the Te Palace with its large ornamented halls. And the cuisine is the region's best of Lombardy and Emilia-Romagna. Rich risottos, thick pasta, and all that in between. It's just a quick train journey away from Verona, Venice, or Milan. But if you're here, you'll regret not staying longer than a day. Ljubljana, Slovenia is at number 4. It's astounding that Ljubljana is still not known by a lot of people. This capital of Slovenia is a tiny city, but it's filled with vitality. You can stroll into tiny shores, get a coffee waterfront, or slip into a bar tucked beneath medieval arches. With no cars in the middle and a strong emphasis on being green, it's a city where you don't resent slowing down. You actually want to. Evenings are as good as the day. Due to the university and an increasing number of wine bars and coffee houses, there's always some activity. But it's not a city where you're rushing about looking at everything, it's just enjoying the moment. Ljubljana is getting well known by tourists now, and that puts some strain on accommodations, especially in the summer. If you do go, it's best to go in spring or early autumn, or lodging in the surrounding areas like the Vipava Valley or Lake Bled. April is especially nice, when flowers are blooming and the city seems like it's letting you in on a secret. Something Europe is just starting to get around to. Luxembourg City is third on our bucket list. It's hard to understand why Luxembourg City isn't talked a lot about. Maybe it's the prices or the idea that a financial hub must be all offices and gray suits. But the reality is completely different. The city is built across cliffs and deep valleys. Luxembourg started in 963 as a small fortress on a rocky ledge and now has grown into a mix of medieval streets and modern design. You'll see old castles above glass sky bridges, cobbled lanes leading down to green riverbanks, and the beautiful Grund district wrapped around the Alzette River. The National Museum of History and Art has works that could sit alongside Flemish masters. Casino Luxembourg is a great spot for modern art. And yes, there's even a bank museum, which is proof that in Luxembourg, even finance has its own story to tell. Second on the list is Stockholm, Sweden. Stockholm is also one of the most beautiful capitals of Europe, but it's not well known around the world. The city spans across 14 islands combined together by sparkling water and iconic bridges. You will experience a constant sea breeze, Scandinavian design, and historical elements everywhere. You can walk along the waterfront past sleek cafes and boutique shops, or stand in Gamla stan surrounded by cobbled lanes and ochre buildings. You can spend a day exploring different landmarks such as the Royal Palace, the Photography Museum, Vasa's great 17th century ship, or even wander through some quieter spots like the ABBA Museum or the metro stations turned into huge underground murals. At number 1 we have Plovdiv, Bulgaria. Interestingly enough, Plovdiv isn't more famous. This ancient Bulgarian city has been inhabited for more than 6,000 years. possibly even 8,000, and is the longest continuously inhabited city in Europe. And yet, it doesn't have that museum feel. The past surrounds you, but life here is decidedly in the present. You can walk through a 1st century Roman amphitheater, stand where the ancient stadium of Philippopolis used to be crowded, or stroll through the cobbled streets of the old town. The houses are lightly painted soft blue, golden yellow, and warm pink with intricately carved wooden details. In tiny museums, the history of the city comes alive in ancient art, clothing, and furniture. And last but not least, there is Kapana, the artsy quarter. It is paved with street art, minute workshops, and coffee shops where you can stay for hours on end. The city lies on 7 hills, and if you ascend one, you'll see how it's surrounded by monasteries, green parks, and nature just beyond the border. Even after being designated as a European Capital of Culture for 2019, Plovdiv still lies off the tourist track. It's the kind of place you happen to arrive at, slowly discover, and recall long after you've left. That's our tour of some of Europe's most underrated cities, places full of history, culture, and everyday life around every corner. They might not make it onto every travel list, but that's what makes them special. You get fewer crowds but more genuine and real experiences. If you're planning a trip in 2025 and want something different, these cities are worth a spot on your list. Skip the usual tourist spots and explore somewhere new. You might find it's even better. If you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more travel ideas.